Alright people, let's talk about Pi Network. This isn't just another cryptocurrency, it's a whole new approach to digital currency. Pi Network aims to make cryptocurrency accessible to everyone, not just those with deep pockets or technical know-how. You've probably seen the ads, heard the whispers, and maybe even had a friend or two mention it in passing. It's been all over social media and the buzz is real. Maybe you've even gotten a text from your grandma asking if she should invest her life savings. Pi promised a revolution, a way for everyday people to get into the cryptocurrency game without needing expensive hardware or a deep understanding of blockchain technology. A cryptocurrency for the people, mined on your phone, no fancy equipment needed. Just your smartphone and a bit of daily interaction. It sounded too good to be true. A digital currency that anyone could mine without the need for powerful computers or a ton of electricity. Naturally, people were skeptical. And guess what? It might just be. The skepticism wasn't unfounded. There were plenty of red flags that made people question the legitimacy of Pi Network. Pi's whole thing was accessibility. It was designed to be user-friendly and inclusive. You didn't need to be a tech whiz or have a basement full of mining rigs. The idea was to democratize cryptocurrency mining, making it as simple as tapping a button on your phone. Just download the app, tap a button every day, boom, you're mining Pi. It went viral. The simplicity and ease of use attracted millions of users from all walks of life. Millions of users jumped on board, dreaming of striking it rich with this new digital gold rush. The community grew rapidly, fueled by the hope of future gains. But there was a catch, a big one. The reality of Pi Network didn't quite match the hype, actually multiple catches. The grand vision of Pi Network was still very much a work in progress. There were significant hurdles that needed to be overcome. Pi's grand vision was still under construction. The promises made were far from being fulfilled. The mainnet, the backbone of any real cryptocurrency, wasn't fully operational. Without a functioning mainnet, Pi couldn't be used for real transactions. You couldn't actually use your Pi to buy anything. It was all theoretical, a promise of future utility that hadn't yet materialized. It was all theoretical, a digital IOU with a whole lot of hype behind it. People were essentially banking on the future success of the network, and that's where Binance comes in. The involvement of established cryptocurrency exchanges could be a game changer for Pi Network, potentially turning its theoretical value into real-world utility. Binance is like the New York Stock Exchange of cryptocurrency, the big leagues. If you're a cryptocurrency, getting listed on Binance is like hitting the jackpot. It gives you legitimacy, access to millions of traders, and usually a nice bump in price. So naturally, everyone wants in. But Binance doesn't just let anyone through the door. They have standards, high ones. They look at things like security, decentralization, trading volume, and overall project legitimacy. Think of it as the crypto equivalent of a background check, but with way more zeros involved. And for Pi Network, this is where things get interesting. Because despite the massive user base, the hype, and the promises, Pi hasn't quite ticked all of Binance's boxes. In fact, some would say they've missed the mark by a mile. Here's the thing. Binance hasn't officially rejected Pi Network. Despite the swirling rumors and the endless debates in online forums, there's been no formal dismissal. There's no press release, no dramatic tweet, no "we regret to inform you" email. The silence is almost eerie, especially in a space as dynamic and fast-paced as cryptocurrency. It's more of a deafening silence. A silence that leaves room for speculation, for hope, and for doubt. And in the world of crypto, that speaks volumes. Silence can be interpreted in many ways, and in this case, it's almost as if the silence itself is a statement. See, Binance has a history of being vocal. They're known for their transparency and their willingness to speak out. They're not afraid to call out projects they deem risky or outright scams. They've done it before, and they'll likely do it again. They've even delisted coins that were once darlings of the crypto world. Coins that had massive followings and significant market caps. So the fact that they haven't said anything about Pi, despite the constant speculation and pressure from the community, is telling. It's almost as if they're waiting for something. Some might say it's strategic, a calculated move to keep everyone guessing. Why give Pi the satisfaction of a public rejection? Why make a move that could be seen as definitive? Why fuel the flames of conspiracy theories? Theories that could spiral out of control and create more noise than clarity. Others argue it's a sign that Binance is still watching, waiting to see if Pi can address its fundamental flaws. Perhaps they're giving Pi the time to prove itself, to show that it can overcome its challenges and become a viable player in the crypto space. Let's talk about the mainnet, the big kahuna, the backbone of any self-respecting cryptocurrency. It's what allows for true decentralization, security, and most importantly, transactions. Without a fully functional mainnet, you're basically playing with monopoly money. You can pretend it has value, but try using it to buy groceries. Pi's mainnet has been shrouded in mystery and plagued by delays. It's been in a sort of enclosed state, limiting transactions and raising concerns about its true capabilities. Critics argue it's a way for the developers to maintain control, preventing users from trading or withdrawing their PI until they decide the time is right. And that brings us to the next big issue. Section 5 Trap Tokens, the liquidity lockdown. Imagine mining for gold, but you're not allowed to sell it, trade it, or even see how much it's actually worth. That's the reality for many Pi users. Their tokens are essentially locked up, stuck in a digital purgatory. This lack of liquidity is a major red flag for exchanges like Binance. It creates an artificial market, making it difficult to determine the true value of Pi. It also raises concerns about a potential price crash if and when those locked tokens are released into the wild. Think about it, millions of users suddenly able to cash in on their Pi holdings. What do you think will happen to the price? Yeah, not pretty. Section 6. Centralization concerns. Who's really in control? Decentralization is the name of the game in the cryptocurrency world. It's the whole point. No single entity should have control over the network. But with Pi, there are lingering questions about who's really calling the shots. The development team still holds significant power, especially with the mainnet situation and the locked tokens. This centralized structure has led to accusations that Pi Network is more akin to a traditional company than a truly decentralized blockchain project. And for Binance, which prides itself on supporting decentralized projects, that's a big no-no. Section 7 KYC Chaos. A roadblock to legitimacy, KYC or Know Your Customer, is a necessary evil in the world of finance. It's a process designed to verify the identity of clients to prevent illegal activities like money laundering, fraud, and financing of terrorism. While it serves a crucial purpose, the implementation can often be cumbersome and frustrating for users. It's all about preventing money laundering and other illegal activities. Financial institutions are required to comply with these regulations to ensure the integrity of the financial system. However, the complexity and rigidity of these processes can sometimes create significant hurdles for legitimate users. But for Pi Network, the KYC process has been anything but smooth. The platform, which aims to create a decentralized digital currency, has faced numerous challenges in implementing an efficient KYC system. Users have encountered a myriad of issues that have left them frustrated and disillusioned. Users have reported long delays, confusing requirements, and a general lack of transparency. Many have found the process to be overly complicated, with unclear instructions and inconsistent criteria for approval. This has led to a significant backlog of applications, leaving many users in limbo. Some have even claimed their KYC applications were rejected without explanation. This lack of communication and transparency has only added to the frustration, leading to a growing sense of distrust among the user base. The opaque nature of the process has raised questions about the platform's commitment to its users. This has led to accusations that the KYC process is being used as another tool to control the supply of PI and artificially inflate its value. Critics argue that by limiting the number of users who can complete the KYC process, the platform can manipulate the perceived scarcity of the currency, driving up its value. For Binance, a platform that takes regulatory compliance seriously, these KYC issues are a major red flag. Binance has built its reputation on adhering to strict regulatory standards, and any association with a project that struggles to meet these standards could be damaging. They don't want to be associated with a project that's struggling to meet basic KYC standards, especially when it could put their users at risk. The integrity and security of their platform are paramount, and any potential risks from non-compliance could have serious repercussions for their business and their users. Section 8. Binance's Balancing Act, Protecting Users and Fostering Innovation. Binance is in a tough spot. On the one hand, they want to support promising new projects and foster innovation in the cryptocurrency space. On the other hand, they have a responsibility to protect their users from scams, risky investments, and projects that don't meet their standards. Pi Network presents a unique challenge. It has a massive user base, undeniable hype, and a compelling vision. But it also has a lot of red flags, from the mainnet issues to the locked tokens to the KYC chaos. Until Pi can address these fundamental flaws and prove its legitimacy, it's unlikely that Binance will risk its reputation by listing it. Section 9. The future of Pi hype or hope. So, what's next for Pi Network? Will they be able to overcome these challenges, launch a fully functional mainnet, and finally unlock the potential of their platform? Or will they crumble under the weight of their own hype, leaving millions of users with nothing but worthless digital tokens? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Binance will be watching closely, along with the rest of the cryptocurrency world. The future of Pi is uncertain, but the stakes are high. The decisions they make in the coming months will determine whether they become the next big thing in crypto or just another cautionary tale.